How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 25 called Waseca Co Minnesota. And we're going to start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads, Welcome to Waseca County, Minnesota, a Midwestern United States map based on real-life location in southern Minnesota. This map boasts 30 arable fields, 3 meadow fields, 2 forestry areas, 2 pig feed mill productions, real-life gravel roads, 8 pre-built farms. Most placeables are sellable, with 1 empty area to build your own farm, a bulk buy station for basic farm needs. The co-op has provided 3 different trailers and semis to transport animals and goods. The vehicle shop has also provided a forklift to aid in loading pallets and other purchased items, more realistic to the area weather events including twisters. The ability for free water from multiple bodies of water. A modern-style pig feeding facility. There are 2 triggers by the control panel in the office. There is one to remove all the fences inside, and the second trigger to actuate the fans. The feed silos can be filled via belt. A special thank you to the following contributors to the map: Schultz Modding, Legacy Ag, Redneck Mods. Category Maps. There are no mods required for this map. This map was created by Matsy Modding and is 109.01 megabytes to download. If we take a look at the map, this is what it looks like. We start out pretty much center of the map here at our main starting farm. Prices on the map do vary, but they're really expensive. Like, you're going to be investing a lot of money. So we'll start out with this one right here, $1.3 million. Even the small stuff here, because it also includes some of the periphery of the forestry bits, you got $261,000 here. You got $384,000. I got $500,000. Got 2 million, almost $2.1 million. Like, it's so expensive. It's so ridiculously expensive. And then you've got these kind of smaller fields here where they're combined with other facilities, so it drives up the price even more. So this one here, even though it's a small field, is $222,000. Down here in the corner, this small one here, $200,000. So yeah, you're going to be spending a ton of money to buy throughout the entirety of the map. If we take a look at what we start out with farmlands number 3 and 19. 3 is a small oat field and the main starting farm, and 19 is a soybean field. The soybean field, if we get onto the right tab, is growing, and the wheat field, even though it says withered, I had to fast forward in order to put money in, but it is, when you first load into the map in August, ready to harvest. So ignore what you're seeing here, but that is what it is when you first drop in. So we do start out with a cow barn on our main starting farm. Contracts are available on this map, and some of them can be pretty good paying. You can see down here we have a $86,000 harvesting contract for one of the bigger fields. Like, you've got some big work to do. We do not start out with any production chains, and if we scroll over here, there are no collectibles on this map. If we take a look at the mods specific to this map, starting in the buy menu, going down to mods and DLC, you'll see the Waseca Co Minnesota tab here, and you'll see there are mods that are specific to this map, including a trailer that is specific for pig feed. It will only hold the pig feed. We have another trailer here, as well as a international Transtar that is modded for this map. If we then go into the build menu, starting out under our buildings and sheds, scroll down to the very bottom here, you'll see Waseca Co Minnesota mod, the Farmlander shed. That is a mod that is specific to this map. There is nothing under silos, silo extensions, constructibles, containers, tools, or farmhouses. Going under our productions, again scrolling down to the very bottom here, we will have the Real Oil Mill Waseca Co Minnesota mod. This is a mod that is specific to this map. And then again, under sell points, scrolling down to the bottom, you'll see Grain Elevator, another mod specific to this map. There is nothing under greenhouses, cultivation, or generators. Under our animals tab, We have nothing for cows, nothing for horses, but for pigs. We scroll down to the bottom. Over here, the hog confinement. This one is a mod specific to this map. Nothing for sheep, nothing for chickens, nothing for bees, or others. There's nothing at all under the decorations tab, and there is nothing under the landscaping tab. So because we do start here at the starting farm, let's take a look at some of our starting equipment. Going over to our vehicles, you'll see we start out with the Agromass POV 5XL, that is a plow. The Convey-All 1690, that is the input auger for our flat bottom bin silos. We've got the Great Plains Solid Stand 1500, that is our seeder. We have an International Series 200 truck, a John Deere 3650, we have a John Deere 980. I believe that is our cultivator, I do believe. We have the Krone Swadro TS 970 windrower. We have the K-Brand RA 142 mixing wagon. The Massey Ferguson 1840 baler. The Massey Ferguson 7S 210. We have the Massey Ferguson 8570 harvester. The harvester header. The Rudolph TDK 301 RP trailer, the Vermeer TM 1410 mower, and that is it. So now let's go ahead and take a look here at our starting farm. We have a sleep trigger directly in front of us right here, and around this side, a wardrobe trigger right there. And we can go inside the house. Very nice. Heading around, let's see, over to here, we have a cow barn. We have room for 57 cows, but we start out with 0 here. We have a milk trigger here, feed trigger, also straw blowing trigger right here, and slurry out the backside here. We go around here. We have a silo. This is the flat bottom bin, so this requires the augers to put in and take out of. Up on top of the hill here, we have our fuel tank and another silo right up into the front of the property. And that's it. It's not a lot going on here on our main starting farm, but let's go ahead and head around the map and see all there is to see here. So let's pull out the camera just a little bit more. So as you can see, there's a lot of relief in the map itself. And as we go through, it's pretty wide open, which is rather surprising. I'm not used to seeing a map that's built like this, but it's something. It's definitely something. Now let's go over here. We're going to stop here. Now, the reason that we're in September, not in August, because I had to put a ton of money into this walkthrough, into this tour, because we're going to be buying loads of land. There are 8 farms that are built onto this map. This is one of them. So let's go to the farmlands here. Farmland number 8. We were here at the main starting farm. We just traveled over to this here. $642,480 to purchase this land. Not only does it purchase this land here, but it purchases this down here. So let's go ahead and buy that. And you'll see all these triggers pop up. We've got all these up here and one down here. So we're going to be checking out this after the fact. So let's hop out. We have a sleep trigger right here. Wardrobe trigger right there. We have our couple of silos in the distance there and a fuel tank right over there. A little bit of storage, and that's it. Again, very simple, basic, straightforward farms. Now heading down the road just a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this farm here, or this portion of this farm in just a little bit, but we are going to go on to this one here. Farmland number 10 for $915,336. We'll go ahead and buy that. And now you'll see we have all these triggers that pop up. Sleep trigger here, wardrobe trigger right there, and all the way over in the back, we have a sawmill. Just a basic sawmill where you can build out your planks long, your planks, and your wood beams. You do not get the prefab walls with this particular one. And input here, output here. A little bit of storage right here as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jet over to the sheep, and then I'm going to backtrack because we do have one more farm. It's tucked away way back in the distance over there. You can kind of see it through there, but we'll see that one here shortly. We're going to see, ooh, what is going on in that distance. Woo! That bus was having some troubles there. So yeah, this is the continuation of farm number 2, this sheep barn tucked away back here. You can see all the storage back here and the sheep barn directly in front of us. We have room for 83 sheep. We start out with 0. Feed goes here, and wool spawns on the side over here. Can we actually see that output? It's kind of buried in the grass, but typically on these barns, that's where the spawn point is. So now let's get turned around. One thing that I really like about this map, and I've yet to see another map do this, or at least one that I've noticed, this is the first one I've really kind of taken note of, is that the roads are crowned. I really like that. I mean, that's something that you would actually see in real life, is that kind of high point in the middle, and you have when the weather turns bad and it rains, you get that kind of runoff from the roads, so it doesn't actually stagnate inside the road. So it's cool. I like that. It's just a little attention to detail. So now we are here on the 4th farm, farmland number 5, for $261,192. We'll go ahead and buy that. And you'll see we got a silo here and a house with a sleep trigger and wardrobe trigger in the back. Hop back in the truck, get turned around. So now we leave out of here and we have to backtrack past our starting farm in order to start taking in some new stuff. So here we go. But as I was mentioning though, the fact that you have this kind of general curvature in the road, and in some places it really becomes pronounced, like it really is out there. Whoa. So you're gonna see some of that kind of stuff, I guess. Yeah, but you get these little whoop-de-doos, which you would see on a back country road like this, like all these little kind of bumps and like hills, and I guess I'm trying to think of the right term, but I mean you can see just all the like little whoops and swoops and all the things that we have going on here. I like that. I think that this was a huge attention to detail. That like I said, I can't think of another map that does this. At least one that's available for all platforms. All right, so tucked away back here, we have yet another farm. We'll go ahead and stop right here. So we were, let's see, I think I didn't even pick up on this. So we were here at farm number 2. We then went across the street to farm number 3. We went then around to farm number 2's sheep pasture or sheep barn, then up to farm 4. Now we're all the way down to this area here, farmland number 25, for $608,256. We can purchase that, and now we have a whole load of stuff going on here. So, yet again, sleep trigger, wardrobe trigger, and then I believe tucked away over here, we have a bunker silo right there. Chicken barn right over here. No chickens to start out with, but 360 can fit in here. Feed goes here, and eggs on the other side will spawn right there. 3 flat bottom silos right there. And another cow barn. Oops, right here. We have room for 171 cows, none to start. Milk, you can blow straw in here. I meant to say that earlier, but you can blow straw in from there. You have your feed right here and can blow straw in from there. Let's go ahead and dive through. And yet again, slurry on the opposite end of this barn. Right there. Get turned around. We got to backtrack just a ways. And now we see the next point of interest coming up in the distance, way over there. That's where we're going to be heading. So we come up to this intersection up here. We start to slow down because, yeah, traffic is a brutal mess on this portion of the road. So be careful. They will not stop in time. So catching up here. Oops, there we go. So we'll hop off the side. All right, so we went from farm number 5, now up the road over to farm number 6. This is farmland number 21 for $222,216. We go ahead and purchase that, and we get 2 facilities. These are both pig barns. They're the same exact thing, so I'm going to go through this just one time. So over here, according to the description, we have an office here with a couple of switches. You can see we can reset the fans and we can show the fence. So if I hop in here, you can see we've got a few things going on. So let's go ahead and reset the fans. We turn the fans on and you can have the fans running, roaring, doing their thing, all fine and dandy. Now if we reset the fence, show fence, bam. Really cool. Really, really nice facility. And we come over here, open the dialogue. We have 1,200 pigs right off the rip. Right off the bat, we have pigs, and we've got to make some room. Well, that room is going to happen over here. But we have a straw trigger right here. And I believe... nope, I think I went to the wrong direction. Let's see. Where was the feed? No, it's not inside. Oh, that's right. Okay, so you load the feed in via the conveyor belts. So you actually put it into these back bins back here. So you can utilize that for your feed. You got your slurry trigger output in the back as well. That's right. I remember now. And again, this building is the same exact thing, but one thing that does differ is because you have the 1,200 pigs in here. You still have room for 1,200, but you have none in this particular barn. So now, I'm going to hop back in the truck. You just see the traffic go flying by. All right, we got to go down this road. And this will take us to our next points of interest. So as we just continue to follow this road, again, it's a very kind of, I don't want to say odd, but I'm not used to a map that has been designed like this. There's the kind of grandness to the map while still being very open. Like it's not open. That's probably the wrong way to put it. There's a grandness. There's an openness to the map, but there's not like things. There's so much that breaking up the sight lines. That's what I'm trying to get out. Is because there's just so many hills and so much going on. Like the grandness of the fields doesn't feel that grand, but they're huge. They're absolutely massive fields. It's a really unique kind of map. So now we're pulling up to the next set of facilities, and this is something that is specific to this map as well. These two facilities here to my left, pull up right here, are the pig feed mills. This is where you can make your pig feed. $249,000 to purchase. Input here and output on the other side right over here. Now if we take a look at this tab right here, not on the owned, but under the actual pig feed mills, you'll see this is our recipe. We can have corn, soybeans, oats, and mineral feed in, and we have our pig food out. So that is we lose one mineral feed. One mineral feed. It's almost a 1-to-1 recipe. So not too shabby whatsoever. So if you're having to produce for all those pigs that were back over there, then yeah, you're gonna need these facilities. Again, this is the same exact model. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip over that one. But again, another production point right there. Directly, well, now off to my right here, we have this is called the pig feed buying station. So you can actually purchase your pig feed if you want to. And now directly in front of me is the grain elevator sell point. Now this is really, really cool. We walk in and we have our sell point right there. So this is essentially the base game model for the constructibles, but actually kind of being utilized as the sell point. Now directly in front of me is the bulk buy station. Now in front of me here is the animal dealer sell point right over there. And on this side is the animal dealer. Now, if you have any of your pens and pastures placed down on the map, you can come to this location and you can purchase your animals directly. If you utilize this icon right here or the icons at the pens and pastures directly, you will incur an additional fee. That fee is associated to a delivery fee. The animal dealer is taking the animals from this location and delivering them for you to your pens and pastures wherever they may be located on the map. Now, that fee will vary depending on the animal, but if we use cows as our base, an adult cow is $100 per adult cow. And in the case of our large cow barn here, purchasing 171 cows right off the bat is going to be an extra $17,100. It's going to be very expensive, adds up rather quickly. So, to save that money, you can purchase an animal trailer or lease it, bring it over here, and pull into this general area while accessing the animal dialog box. You will then be able to load the animals directly into the trailer, and then you'll be able to deliver the animals yourself, saving you that money. So what I'm going to do is turn around, pull over here, and now follow this to the right. To right here. So we were over here at farmland number 21. We then backtracked, came all the way down and around, and we took in the pig feed makers here, the pig buying station, the pig food buying station here. We have the grain elevator sell point, the bulk buy station there, the animal dealer and the animal dealer seller point, and then we came over to farmland number 17 for $2,085,912. Go ahead and purchase that. We have farm number 7. So this, we have a sleep trigger, wardrobe trigger, and a couple of silos tucked away in the back. That's it for this one. So heading back to the truck. Now, one thing I notice about this map is this is the first map that I can recall where the animal dealer, if it's not enclosed, it doesn't have animals actually pre-built onto the map. Like at the animal dealer. This is the first one. So, there we go. So, coming up here to my right, we'll stop right here, is farm number 8. So we were right here at farm number 7. We went north and came over just past the pig facility, and over to farmland number 20 for $1,158,552. We can purchase this one, and now we have the farm. So again, we have another sleep trigger and wardrobe trigger, several flat bottom silos, 3 of them to be precise. We have a chicken barn right over here. 0 to start out with, but room for 360. And again, feed goes here, eggs spawn on the other side over there. And then over here we have a couple of greenhouses. We have our water point here, and we have our outputs right here. And this is just a standard greenhouse. We come over here, you can see just standard stuff, nothing out of the ordinary here for both of these. Some more storage in the back, and that is it. So let's go ahead and grab the truck once again and head out to the next point of interest. Okay, so now we're heading down the road. Now, according to the description, there are 8 pre-built farms. There's 8 pre-built farms by my count, plus the main starting farm. There's a constructible area right over there. Oh, dear. Going off-road, tipping over, and landed it. Stuck the landing. All right, now I'm going to head out, hopefully without any more incidences. There we go. Back to the straight and narrow. And now here is the 9th and final buyable farm coming up here to my left. And this one actually has a unique little flavor to it. So I'll show it off here right now. So we were over here at farm number 8, came up and down the road over to farmland number 28 for $1,674,240. We can purchase this, and we have all these triggers once again. So just like any of our standard farmhouses here, we do have a sleep trigger and wardrobe trigger. We also have a water buy point right there. We have a fuel tank here, and we have a silo here. Those are the triggers that pop up right now. But there's a farm number 9 part 2 is what we can call this, because you also can purchase farmland number 16 right next door for $375,096. And now you get the chicken barn that will pop up. So I think this is kind of an error. I think this is supposed to be a part of this farm, not that field there. So my guess is that's going to be updated at some point, but that's just a guess. We have room for 360 chicken, none to start, and we are familiar with the triggers from the other chicken coop. So now, this is where it all breaks loose. Things are about to get nuts very, very quickly. So let's go ahead and head down the road, continuing out to the west, and we will check out everything that has to offer over in the northwest corner of the map. And let me tell you, it's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming up. Number one, you're greeted by this cool little billboard sign right out here. Really like that. So we're going to start here, and you can see all the icons on the map in the bottom left-hand corner there. Gas station, and gas station. You can see there's 3 icons. That's why I'm saying it multiple times, is because there are 3 individual gas stations that are just kind of rammed together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull over here, and I'm going to park, because it's going to be easier just to walk around to show off the rest of this stuff. Right over here, we have the paper factory for $525,000. You can purchase this. Wood cell trigger here, input here, output on this side over here. Let's see, going across the street, we have an output for this facility here, and our trigger right here. This is the preserved food factory for $330,000. You can purchase this one. Oh, and one thing, is I will show off all the kind of recipes at the end, because there's just all of these right on top of each other. I'll be back and forth in the menu, or I can just do it in one fell swoop. Input right here. Across the street is the carpentry. Wood cell trigger here. Input here. Output there. And trigger right there. $300,000 for the sawmill. Over here, we have the cement factory. Input right here. Output around the side. Over here. And the trigger right there. $370,000 for the cement factory. We have the farmer's market tucked away on the hill over here. We have a palleted goods sell point right there. And on this side is our loose grains. So coming up here, we're going to make a right. We have a sawmill right here. For $300,000, we can purchase a sawmill. We have an input here and an output right there. We have another sawmill, for some reason, right over here. This one can be purchased for $150,000. And we have our wood chips output there. We have our input here, wood cell trigger right there, and our outputs for all our other goods right there. We have the dairy coming up here, input right there, our trigger right here, $210,000 to buy, and our output around the backside over here. Across the street here, we have our next point of interest. An input for it is right here. I believe this is the rope maker, if I'm not mistaken. Output here, and trigger, yep, rope maker, $300,000 for the rope maker. Across the street is the grape processing unit. Go over here, can purchase this for $240,000, input here, and output under the awning over here. Now we're heading over here for our next point of interest. We have the shop and repair trigger directly in front of me. Shop trigger right here, and repair trigger around the backside right here. And as the description stated, we do have a high-low right there. So now heading a little bit long over here. Right here is the potato processing plant. We have an input right here. Output right there. And the trigger right there. $360,000 to purchase. Gonna head up this roadway. Directly in front of me is the tailor shop. You can purchase the tailor shop for $240,000. Our output right here and an input on the backside over there. Across the way we have the soup factory. $405,000 to buy. Input here, output right over here. Right here we have our oil mill. Input right there, output here, and trigger right here. $240,000 to purchase. Next door, the cereal factory. Input here, output there, and $240,000 for the cereal factory. Over here, we have, I believe this is the Cooper. For $300,000, you can purchase this one. And I believe, don't quote me, but I believe output is here and input on the backside. Can I squeeze through? Can I? Yes, I can. Over here. Behind it, we have the bakery. Input here. Trigger here, $150,000 to buy. Output right there. Behind me is the next one. This is the sugar mill. Input here. Output there. Purchase of the sugar mill, $240,000. Next one behind that is the grain mill. Input here, trigger here, 288 to buy, and output right there. And now the last point of interest, coming up here, is the spinnery. Input here, trigger here, and output. Where is the output for this one? Huh. That just dawned on me. Well, hopefully it's just buried in the grass. Maybe it's over here and I'm just not able to see it. But yeah, that's it. That is everything here on Waseca Co Minnesota. And now it's time to render my opinion and let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. This one I find to be extremely unique. Extremely unique. So, as I mentioned, there is a grandness to this map. And very indicative of a American style map. You've got big fields, big farming to go on here. But there's not much in the ways to break up the sight lines besides the natural terrain. And it's very different. I've never seen a map quite like this before. And I quite like it because of the kind of terrain and undulations and the way that the whole area looks. Like, it's not a flat map, but it has that impression almost of a flat map. Now you can see there's some things that are definitely going to have to be worked on and tweaked, over the couple of updates perhaps. You can see the cars are floating in places. There's all these little itty bitty kind of things, but I've yet to see anything that was really kind of like groundbreaking, game breaking. One thing I just realized is I forgot to show off the factories. So let's do that real quick. Just the quick recipe rundown. So you can see bakery, standard stuff. We've got carpentry standard. Pretty much everything is standard, when it comes to the factories. There's nothing that really kind of, stood out to kind of be out of left field. But I like to show these off just so we can see that there's no kind of like major like wonkiness to any recipes or anything like that. We got the pig feed. This one is definitely the unique one. We got the potato processing. We got our preserved food factory, rope maker, sawmill. We've got our soup factory, spinnery. We got the sugar mill, the tailor shop, and that is everything. So, like I was saying though, it's definitely unique. Now, the one thing that I really like about this is the grandness. It's something that normally is very kind of, I guess for the lack of a better word, off-putting for me, because oftentimes you get this kind of grandness at the expense of beauty almost. And what I mean by that is you don't often see a grand map like this where there's a lot of undulations, a lot of things that are going on in the terrain. So it's sometimes very flat. A good example is like a Big Flats, Texas or something like that. It's very flat, very open, and you can see for miles, and it's just very kind of again, for lack of a better word, dull. It's because all you're seeing is this large expanse of area. You don't have anything to look at. Now, this one does have that as well, but because of the undulations in the fields and all the kind of, terrain shifts, it doesn't have that kind of feeling to it. It actually has a kind of inviting feeling to it. So I'm really torn about that personally. And then you get into certain areas on the map where there's like the forestry areas where you can really kind of rip into trees and stuff like that. And that really also helps to break down the sight lines as well. So, like I said, there's this grandness to it. We can see all around in pretty much all directions, but there are limits in a lot of areas. And I like that. I really, really do. One other thing I mentioned earlier that I really like, I love the road networks. I love how the roads are crowned to where there's a high point in the middle and it kind of swoops and sweeps down to the remainder of the edging of the roadways. So all that being said, there's a lot of things about this map that I find very unique and interesting and that I like. There are some things I don't care for, like what you just see here before you. The kind of ending to the map is very jarring. And then you get this kind of outer perimeter where you got all these trees, but the outer picture doesn't line up with the rest of the map. So it's very jarring. And being out here, like on this farm, I would personally never purchase this farm because you have to see that kind of outer banding every single time you come out here. There's no avoiding it whatsoever. So that, I would say, is something that kind of I don't want to use upset, but something that I notice that really stands out to me. Some other things I notice are the kind of color palette. Because there's so many wildflowers on this map, it's borderline cartoonish. Very, very borderline. So I wish that was kind of toned back and whatnot, but they're not such bright colors that you really are going to take note of them. It's not like the reds and the blues and the pinks and the purples where it's really standing out. You got you got yellows and whites. Kind of even maybe like a baby pink kind of thing. Like it's like a baby pink kind of color. So they don't really stand out unless you're down on the ground like I am here. Even in third person, if I pull the camera back just a bit, yeah, you can see them, but it's not overwhelming. And it's because, I think, specifically because of the colors that they used. But it still is intrusive enough to where it's going to catch my attention. So all that being said, what do I think of this map? 0 to 5 scale as per usual. I think that I would give this map a 3.5, approaching a 4, but not quite. So I'm going to leave it at a 3.5. There are a ton of things going on in this map in regards to the farms and all that. You've got 8, outside of the main starting farm, you've got 8 other farms that you can kind of deal with. And there's cool little features all around the map. You got these kind of water features and the bridge that we're actually approaching right over here. And because of the terrain shift, you can see how if you're just kind of not paying attention and whatnot, you go driving up to that corner right there and not paying attention, all of a sudden you're going off into the distance. You're more than likely you're going into the river. But I don't know, there's something about the road network here that just feels like home, feels real to me. And I really like that. So all that being said, yeah, 3.5. I think there's a lot of positives to this, and I think this is definitely a above average map. So all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this map tour, and if you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. The shows are engaged with this channel, enjoying the content. That being said, hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care.